I think it is fair to say that we are born with some innate sense of what fairness is. We're quick to point out when a supposed injustice has been committed. And we can see this even with kids, right? If you go to a birthday party, for example, and the kids are all gathered around the birthday cake, and the cutting of the cake begins, and the distribution of the pieces. And when a kid notices that, hey, he got a bigger piece than me, even if it's only 1 millimeter, it is World War III, isn't it? But it doesn't just happen with children. It's certainly true for adults as well. We're always quick to point out a supposed unfair happening. For instance, if we're at the grocery store and for some reason there's only one register open, and you're thinking, really? And there's 20 people along this line, and you're waiting, 15 minutes into it, when all of a sudden you hear from another register, "Can I help somebody over here?" And would you know it, the guy at the back of the line, who was just been waiting for 15 seconds, jets over to the register. And you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to call the police. How unfair. We have this wonderful parable in the gospel today where the workers start at 6 a.m. and they work 12-hour long day. Meanwhile, you have people being picked up to be brought to the field to work as well. And one group was picked up at 5 p.m. and they worked 1 hour. 1 hour. And at the end of the day laborers would get paid, right? And you're one of the guys who's been working all day in the sun and tired, and you're watching the guys who have been working 1 hour, and they get paid, and then you go up, you're expecting, well, I'm going to get a lot more than that. And you get paid the same? How many of us would not say, that is unfair? What's the problem being identified here? And we all struggle with it. I think it comes down to jealousy, envy. We live with it all the time, don't we? We say, well, why does she get to live in that bigger home? Or why did he get that promotion? Why do I suffer and she does not? You know? So what's the solution to this? Living in the life of grace. Recognizing that all we have and all that we are is pure gift. See, the word grace comes from gratias, right? Free, gift from God. We are not deserving of any of it. You see, because I got news for you, my brothers and sisters, we are all those people who worked 1 hour and got paid the same as those who worked all day. We are all the 5 p.m. workers. Because we don't deserve any gift, anything, anyone. It is a pure gift of God. See, the life of grace is not earned. We worship a God who first loved us. Is that fair? No. But that is God's love. Is it fair that we even exist right now, that we're in existence? No. It is pure gift. Is it fair that when we sinned against God, God sent his Son to die for us? Is it fair that we get to be with Jesus here today, this morning, in this church, to worship him, to receive him when others around the world cannot? Is it fair that we were born in this wonderful country where we are blessed with so much, a roof over our heads, food, medical care, when so many were born in countries through no fault of their own, right, where they don't have those wonderful gifts. Is that fair? We better be careful when we're starting to apply fairness. See, we often like to point out unfairness until we are the ones to get the bigger piece of cake or to be first in line. We'd like justice until it is applied to us, right? Then we like mercy. I think about when we die, right? What happens? We face the judgment seat of Jesus Christ. We are judged. Now, how many of us are going to be clamoring for justice instead of mercy? I'm going to be asking for mercy for all my sins. See, everything is a gift. Everything. And it isn't fair. When we come to recognize that, then we become givers instead of takers. If I focus on unfairness in my life and injustices that's happened to me, if I focus on that, I become consumed with it and I become bitter. But when we begin to see the gifts that we receive every day, every minute, every second, then we begin to imitate God in His generosity, in His giving. So let us, when we begin to clamor about a supposed unfairness, experiencing envy or jealousy, let's first do this. Let's take a moment, stop, and think about 3 gifts that we have received that day. Someone was telling me about an army sergeant who, if the soldiers would come to her to complain about some unfairness, she would say, "Stop. First tell me 3 things for which you are grateful." And it changed the whole conversation. Because we forget. We live a life of unfairness. We don't deserve God's love. We don't deserve to receive Him in the Eucharist. But that's an indication to us of who God is, how much He loves us. Let us strive to imitate that. Are you envious because I am generous? My thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways, says the Lord.